Race is for two categories of cars, up to 1350 cc's, and cars over that category up to 1600. It's sponsored by Sanyo. You're looking at the warm-up lap, and there's the grid. John Keeny on pole position. In second place, George Crozier, who is very much in contention for the championship. Then Morgan Dempsey, Dowling, Rooney, Baird, a fascinating combination of saloon and sports cars, and a type of racing that Brian Chute knows very well because he competed for many years in mod sports.
Yes, and the first of these cars coming up, the second place man George Crozier in this remarkable Maguire Mini. Second car in your shot there, number 43, is actually the pole position man in the Irish built TMC Costin. Third place man Morgan Dempsey in the white MDGT, which is based on an MG Midget, but all done by Morgan himself. Slowing them down, coming down into the lineup area for this race, a 3-2-3 grid, unlike the other races where it's 2-2-2. Morgan Dempsey is special. Look at that, unbelievable. You wouldn't recognize that as an MD Engineering. Morgan, a very, very experienced driver. On the left, that's the pole position man, 40-plus-year-old John Keaney, and actually 42-year-old John Keaney in car number 43. And the Apple computer sponsored, he's picked up a number of sponsors over the year. They've added the wing, they've developed this car over the year. Team Apple, it's a Sabbath Smith GT Championship, which, surprise, surprise, it's not John Keeny who's leading. Is up to 1300 cc's, is the overall leader, Dan Rooney, with 49 points. The hands in the air, we're waiting on the lights are red, they're green. Crozier, good start from Crozier, but Dempsey tries it on, jumps in, and he's very close. John Keeny was gone off the road like a rocket, and all safely into shell this time. Nobody charging. Somebody off on the right, I think, blew a clutch, a big cloud of smoke, but it's John Keeny with Morgan Dempsey and George Crozier fighting for second place.
Dempsey on the inside, Crozier on the outside that time, and there it is, one of the TMCs. In fact, it is a complete novice, the man out in his first ever race, Davis, who has had a very sad start to his racing career. But the other TMC news is excellent, because John Keeny in the Team Apple car out there in the lead. Keeny comes down into Esso then, and what a lead he's got. Dempsey in second place, Crozier third, then Dowling just being taken by Hall, I think it is, number 3 there, just going through. David Hall from Braddockstown in the Hallspeed car, and that is coming up very quickly indeed. David Dowling in the second TMC, the yellow car in the background, unfortunately saying that he's going to give up racing and go back to kart racing.
David Hall, the story is many problems in practice this morning because it was damp and he was caught out on slick tires, but it's bone dry now, and there's nobody knows Mondello better than David Hall. He's come off the back row of the grid, and already he's all over Crozier. He's fighting now for third and second place. Morgan Dempsey in the white and orange car firmly in second place at the moment. Crozier trying Hall all over the place on the curves, really trying, and this will turn into a three-way battle for second place. But this isn't letting John Keeny away, Alan, but then John can make tremendous starts. He got all the power down. That new wing on the back of the Costin has made the TMC, has made a great grip on the back end. They've changed the wheels on the back end to give them a slightly wider track, and it's proved that it's worked. Like, look at Hall in the little blue imp really harrying Crozier.
Hall then, having come the back row of the grid, another man really shooting up that we see from Colin Doherty's lap chart here is Pat Mannion. Pat Mannion, not in our picture yet, but in a 1000cc imp, an English visitor. We've got to look out for him, and Hall is trying now, but he finds an awful lot of machinery in his way there, but Hall's surely going to try, and they're touching on the straight. That's very dangerous. Crozier and Dempsey touching there, and Dempsey gets back there into second. No change, and David Hall wisely staying out of this little battle in the meantime.
Yes, knowing David's experience, he'll sit there and watch these two boys touch away. Well, the classic manoeuvre there, up the outside into Dunlop and come out tight and try down the inside, but the power in Dempsey's car, he can hold on. Slight bit of touching. These cars tend to wander a little bit. The limited slip diffs in the back axles are locked up, so they're on lock drive, so they're really going at it. There's our leader, number 43, John Keeny in the TMC Costin, on his way to, I hope, another win for this Irish-built car. At the moment, building maybe 20, 30 cars a year. For 86, they hope to build 40. Most of their cars being exported to the United States of America.
And it's interesting to note that the TMC actually made its competition debut on television 2 years ago here at Mondello, and won on that occasion also. But of course, we're a long way from the finish yet. Here's the battle now for second place. Crozier on your right, Morgan Dempsey on your left, and Hall just looking in the powder blue Imp there, just looking for that gap. Sponsored by Team PR Riley, and he's got a gap, I think, into second place. Crozier made a very bad mistake there. The Enniskillen man running wide there in the Maguire Mini, and just making it very easy for the local man to get through. So the Team PR Riley Imp now up into third place.
A classic mistake there from George Crozier. He was so busy watching Dempsey, thinking that he could go around the outside with him, and never even noticed David Hall sitting on his tail. Now back marker here, this is Davis who got going, who went off at the start. No problem there for Dempsey and Hall, but look at David Hall try. This should be a good maneuver now down. Whoa, very, very sideways, very sideways there. You see little arms moving inside. Dempsey now knows he has a real Mondello man on his tail. Look at him guarding his inside there, Dempsey, as he comes up over the hill. But Hall now will have to guard. Hall very experienced, trying to go in the inside. He's got it. He's got the inside line. If he can out-drag Dempsey to Shell, he has second place, and I think he'll hold it. This could be a late breaking maneuver, but he has him by a car length.
Dempsey in the Ford-engined MD Special, and Hall now up into second place, and experience really showing there. So obviously David Hall very sideways though as he goes round Shell. David Hall not a bit rusty after his long, must be 3 or 4 year layoff from motor racing, back with a vengeance, but not much chance, I don't think, of catching John Keany, who now has a very commanding lead. So it's Keany, Hall, then Dempsey and Crozier, and those four in a class, absolute class of their own. David Darling is next up, but he's a long way down. And then we have the leader of the 1300cc class, Dan Rooney, who also leads the Savage Smith Championship overall. And so, interestingly enough, it is not, in fact, John Keany who's leading the big class in that Savage Smith Championship. It is George Crozier. So Keany would have a chance today, a very good chance, if things go the way they are at the moment, of gaining that lead in that class.
David Hall, as you saw there, really sliding this little Imp around. What a pity he was caught out on the wrong tires this morning in practice, which put him down the back of the grid. I think he could be up there giving John Keany a hard time. He's slowly pulling away from these two. Dempsey under fierce pressure there from George Crozier. He's winding it up through that left-hander there. The Midget, the white and orange one, is a rear-wheel drive car, and Crozier in the front-wheel drive car, right? This is the dice we're looking at. Number one, Morgan Dempsey. 2 years in a row, he was GT champion in an ordinary Midget, and then he built Crozier trying the outside. The difference between these two cars is saying Dempsey in the rear-wheel drive car, right? Crozier in the front-wheel drive car. Some corners suit rear wheel, some corners suit the front-wheel drive. Now, Crozier should be very, very good in the little tight hairpins. He should be able to pull the front of the car in. There's Hall, a rear-wheel drive in. Dempsey guarding that inside lane. But Crozier should be able to pull out and look at the inside. Now the two of them will have to draft down. They're side by side. Crozier has it this time. He came out. Dempsey went slightly wide as Crozier on the inside for the next one, which is Shell. Dempsey trying to have another look back down the inside. This could be very tight. Very good move by Morgan. Caught him napping again. That's twice George Crozier been caught napping at him.
Yes, indeed. I wonder if he's having a slight brake problem, because running a little bit wide and cocking the inside rear wheel up in the air as he went through Boac that time, down into the back, down that back straight, which is now fairly bumpy even in a GT car, and Crozier once again having all that work to do. So they're really providing the entertainment in third place. As the leader, John Keany, the man that won the first ever race here at Mondello, and is the only man that currently holds 2 lap records at the moment at Mondello, because he has a Motorsports record and a GT record, lapping one of the back markers there, the little mini of Dennis Corboy.
Crozier there trying the outside now. He's gone around. Oh, and Dempsey making it very, very wide from there. Crozier came up the outside and thought he would draft around the outside, but Dempsey made it very, very wide. Fairly evenly matched. It's in the tight ones that Crozier can get this little front-wheel drive mini to turn in. He's good on the brakes. Morgan obviously has the power coming out of the corner, but Crozier can really draft in behind. They're settling down now and they're battling it out. David Hall, Team PR Riley sponsored, in the hideout famous eating spot down in Kilcullen. He's well into second place, and the battle here is for third place between Dempsey, number 1, and Crozier there.
So there they go. And interestingly, looking at the lap chart, we've got Pat Mannion coming up places all the time from the back of the grid. He's now in 5th place, the English visitor. But the leader now with problems with back markers. Keany really into the back marker problem here as it comes down to Shell. One of the little 1000cc imps in his way, rather smoky one by the look of it. Keany can afford now to take his time. Number 72 there, going through Nigel Burgess from Dundrum and his 998cc Imp. And John Keany, number 43, picking them off one by one, and Burgess getting it very sideways as he chucked the little Imp down into Duckham's. Obviously a car that would be pretty underfinanced compared to this TMC.
We've just got news that John Keany has set a new lap record at 61.34 seconds, getting very close to the magic minute on lap 5. So this wing on the back of the car, this new development for TMC, is really working for them. They now have a lap record. They're on the way to another win, and John will be delighted with this. And I personally am delighted for the Irish manufacturer. The lads, the Thompson brothers, have put a lot of effort into this car. They've supported John all the way. The car started with absolutely no sponsorship, and slowly, as you can see, they're running out of space. It's a very, very effective machine. And the dice is still on for third place. Dempsey still guarding. Now Crozier going to try the long. He's got to tuck himself back in the inside line. That's it. If we can have a go down to the Shell camera, we may see it. That's Keany, our race leader, still having problems with back markers.
So John Keany, and you notice that the suspension of the TMC being set up now quite a lot softer than originally to soak up the surface here at Mondello. So John Keany very happily out of the lead, and we were saying that he had 2 lap records. He's just broken one of his own lap records and reduced it to 57.12. Sorry, 61, I should say, 3.4, 61.34. Again, Davis being lapped once again by the leader, and we have, in fact, coming down to take the chicken fight there, Keany, so far ahead of the opposition, having lapped quite a number of them. In fact, coming up to lap David Dowling, who was in 6th place. There's David Hall in 2nd place, and we can obviously look forward to more glorious sideways stuff from this man. When he can get the act together and get off the front row of the grid, he would be one to give John Keany a real battle. And here comes the battle for third, and Crozier's over the grass. That's not going to help him. But in fact, it goes to Morgan Dempsey. George Crozier 4th. So the championship leader back in 4th. And there's our race leader, John Keany. Absolutely convincing stuff from lights to the flag. And of course, the bonus of that lap.